guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today we're going to talk about Tudor movements. Are they soon to be widely available in other watches? We're going to get into that in just a second, but of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. I busted out the Rolex Submariner Hulk. Love this watch. I haven't worn it in like a month. Boy, does it feel good to have it back on the wrist. Also, guys, don't forget to check out delraywatch.com, of course. Few cool watches came in stock recently. We just got in a beautiful Omega Speedmaster Reduced, a rare Girard-Perregaux financial world time. So it also tells you when the financial markets are open and closed. It's actually the best-selling version of that world timer, amongst other things. I'm looking over there because I can see my screen. Oh, yeah. Grand Seiko. We got a few Grand Seikos in. Very interesting. All box and papers at delraywatch.com. Link in the description below. So anyway, guys, Tudor, as you may know, they came out with their own in-house time-only movement a few years ago. Great, it's been very reliable. The GMT's had some problems, but the standard one has been very reliable. And you may also remember that about a year and a half ago, they did a movement swap with Breitling, where they would provide their time-only movement to Breitling. Breitling would provide them their B01 for Tudor's chronographs. Well, the movement manufacturer of Tudor is now called Kenissi. This happened a little while ago. It's owned by Tudor and Chanel. Chanel actually also owns part of FP Journe, so they're expanding their watchmaking interests. And Kenissi, is making these Tudor movements, now available in Tudor and in Breitling's. Maybe a Chanel watch has it, but I'm not so sure. Well, today, Norqain, a watch that, I reviewed a while ago, even though this is a different version, and a watch brand I know the managing director of, released their new release. And it has a Kenissi movement, customized for Norqain with different bridges and a slightly different escapement without the silicone. But essentially, this Norqain watch has a Tudor movement. So this, even though this is purely speculative and I have no insider information, but if Tudor is now providing movements to Breitling, and they just started providing movements to Norqain, which is a small brand, I guess they make 3,000 to 4,000 watches a year, though I can't be sure, is Tudor kind of ramping up and experimenting with the movement wholesale business. Now, obviously, Tudor watches are doing extremely well, but there's a whole other part of the market where you can make a ton of money selling movement and movement parts. Look at H. Moser. They own Precision Engineering, which makes a ton of hairsprings, escapements, and parts for other companies. Look at Swatch Group. They own ETA, which obviously is a movement supplier and manufacturer. Well, is Norqain... Well, actually, go further. Jaeger supplied movements to other people. Girard-Perregaux supplied movements to other people. Is Tudor trying to bolster their balance sheet by selling these Kenissi/Tudor movements to other brands? I think so. It makes sense to kind of dip their toes in. First Breitling put it in a couple of models. Now they're supplying Norqain with these movements, which is a great way to experiment production to see, how much retooling they have to do, how much they can stretch their production line to still supply Tudor with their own movements, but also make a fairly decent chunk of change supplying it to outside movements. And that's why the fairly limited distribution. But if things go well, and I think if Tudor does their cost-benefit analysis and realizes it's a good move for them, I think pretty soon, in the next 2 or 3 years, we might be seeing these Tudor/Kenissi movements replacing some of the ETA and Sellita variants in the entry-level luxury segment. What do you think of that? Would that be good news for you guys? Is that exciting? I think anytime you can have variety, that's a plus. I mean, the Kenissi movement is very reliable. Yeah, it's not particularly decorated. It's not particularly pretty. Though that can change brand by brand. They can decorate it in-house. But I think it's definitely interesting to have another player in this league along with ETA and Sellita. I mean, yeah, you kind of have Soprod here or there, Le Jouperet here or there. But, having more options, especially one that has money and is scalable like Tudor slash Kenissi, it can only be a good thing. Exciting times, even though, as I said, purely speculative on my part, but I can't think of another reason why they would be supplying movements on such a a small scale if they weren't toying with the idea of kind of getting into the wholesale watch movement business. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. I wanted to pose this question to you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help. And please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any content. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.